State Bank of India, what they send the application, they called it, was laughable, absolutely laughable. That it looks like they tried to manipulate to make this letter. It was very clear that every effort was being done to keep the donor's name secret, confidential. A largest bank which deals in a split second, you can take out your own, you deposit money or you have as your statement, you can take out in no time. They made a laughing stock of themselves, and this was saddest part was they used the lower functionary to sign this amendment to Finance Act 2017, where you amended 4 to 5 things, RBI, income tax law, just to accommodate electoral bond by itself was nothing.
Hello and welcome to the News Minute. The Supreme Court on Monday dismissed the State Bank of India's petition asking for some more time to reveal details regarding the electoral bonds, the people who purchased the electoral bonds, and the political parties that redeemed those electoral bonds. To talk about this, I have with me Commodore Lokesh Batra, who has been following this electoral bond scheme from day one. Sir, thank you so much for joining us. So,
Thank you for inviting.
what are your observations on the Supreme Court order?
So I'll just start from different. So it's an absolutely wonderful order. Not even wonderful. If I asked, they should have been told, bring your bosses here in this evening. You know, because the whole, if you read it very carefully, State Bank of India, what they send the application, they called it, was laughable, absolutely laughable. That it looks like they tried to manipulate to make this letter, and surely I'm very sure it has not come from SBI. They got some lower functionary to sign this in SBI, because my experience, I've been telling channel after channel, is fantastic. And if you would have also noticed as a media that the moment sale is over, within a couple of days, I'm sharing with the entire. And I don't share exclusively, I share with everybody, so that everybody should know what is happening. So how can I say they won't know? They don't. They give you the entire details in terms of not only sale, branch-wise sale, denomination-wise sale, denomination-wise redeemed, and also remaining money, how many have gone there. Now, this reply is prepared within 48 hours of completion of process. Process, I mean, is 10 days for sale, if it is 10 days or 20 days. And then the other party gets 15 days from the last date. I put it, if you sell on the first, you add, first is inclusive, 14 add, that is last day. But anyone who buys on 10th, is at 24th is the last day. And by 25th, what they do is they send the entire brief to Ministry of Finance, Department of Economic Affairs. So they are very efficient. If the system was like this, how could they give it in 24 hours in such details? And the point is that they might be saying, but one thing is I want to highlight. That is, even then recently I shared the communication within RBI Governor and the Secretary Finance, Department of Economic Affairs. It was very clear that every effort was being done to keep the donor's name secret, confidential. Even today they mentioned, just because of that, we created this new SOP. Otherwise, it should be like bank. And to my me, even RBI set up these guidelines for maintaining saving account, FDs and all. And RBI guideline, when I went to RBI website, I couldn't find it. And this, another thing which tells me from the various researches, is the TCS who manages. And they're the global, they don't only do, they do globally partnership with TCS, and they go beyond that. Other banks also, they support them how to make us. So how do you think, like this is a joke? You have a bond, which is like a bearer bond, a currency note. There's a KYC done, but it's a promissory note. We don't know it's like a currency note. How many hands is changed before go to political? I've been saying from the past also, legally, I'm talking legally, under the behind the back door, they will connect up. There'll be nothing a political party said somebody has delivered me or put in my letterbox. I don't know who is the party because you're not supposed to know legally. So that point was existing. So another party that they have opened accounts. The special accounts are opened up for maintaining the political parties are supposed to open an account which is duly approved. That's the only account where money can be transacted.
Hmm.
Forget anything else. The account details are available with them. When you do the credit, the money goes to the political parties, which are the ones, when was the date wise मिल जाएगा तो from political parties के कुछ fund से देख लीजिए. And the other thing is,
Okay. So,
it's not
so
29 parties. Listen, it is a 29 officially. My research recently, which I shared from my hotel documents, as of now, only 19 branches have sold in 30 phases, and only 14 such branches which are in cash. That makes the load less. So that is what it is. 14 branches and plus 14 branches mean political parties. And only as of today, 25 political parties are registered. And even in earlier, it would have been 10, 5, 6, increased to 25 now. That's it.
So now the question is that the data that everybody was expecting was that electoral bonds were purchased by someone and it went to this particular party, like it went to the ruling party, it went to the opposition party. So that's the kind of data that people were expecting. But now we
Linkage.
will have
You
two
mean
sets of
linkage?
data.
You mean
Yeah, the
linkage?
linked data. Yeah, the linked
It
data.
won't be difficult at all if you get the date of. I mean, this was the excuses actually.
Hmm.
See, only 22,000 something has been sold. And they given the same figure for redemption, but all the money was not redeemed. At least 300 bonds were not there. They didn't mention it. Even if you take a printout of this physical thing, it's not difficult. And as I said, the account. If you know the date of a KYC or a particular thing, you know the date of a on the political party's account. Thirdly, it has a secret number. Secret number is which is hidden number. That was created by government in it till such time they never mentioned it till such time a journal from Quint exposed this thing under UV light. Then they came out with a press statement, which I have, I can share with you, of course. So they categorically say it is a necessity because audit purpose, we have to maintain an audit trail. And the second is that from the time it is sale till it is redeemed, it shouldn't be forged one. So we need to have these arrangements. That is accepted. Now, if you have this arrangement, which bond has been sold with the number and which is the one has been received by the party, without that you are not encashed it. And then you know the party details. The fact is that even donors date wise, it is there. I mean, and there are other things which are going to come out. I don't know when you have noticed that Supreme Court in its verdict on 12th April itself, 2019, had categorically said seal covered all the details of political parties to give seal cover. Now, this constitutional bench on second number also said the same thing that you should continue with that, but now you give it till 30th September. So there will be a lot of, forget that state bank, there will be data there,
Hmm.
right or wrong. There will be linkage. You see, and it's not sure till the order comes, you will be able to find out. And they had started admitting that we have this, we can share in a day or two. They themselves said. This time it was a counsel for them at the Harish Salve. It was very clear to me when he was talking that he's not even aware about the case. He doesn't know what
Hmm.
we are talking. See, the first part 29 benches when it's out. Then we know it is only 19 have sold out of 29. All together, I counted that day. Similarly, only 14 had there. We have the accounts. So at least these ones which have been given to a political party, in 2 minutes they can take out from the accounts of their party because special account. And date also is there. Date of crediting is there with them. If not with the party, it is there. So this was a total laughable. A largest bank which deals in a split second you can take out your own, you deposit money or you have as your statement, you can take out in no time. They made a laughing stock of themselves, and this was saddest part was they used the lower functionary to sign this
But
AGM law.
but the decisions were taken by the higher ups in the SBI hierarchy. Now that
Beyond, it
many,
could be beyond that.
it could be beyond that.
Yeah,
So
because
now
what
that
happened,
now that
but
the
I
S
want to
is
bring out this something that this CMD of this State Bank of India, if you recall backward, because I did all the research recently, he was given extension sometime in November, 8 October, November, for short period. If you give extension, give a year at least. That was virtually to carry forward the election of the 24th election, the result in new government. So it tells you something. It's a you can perceive something. You know, he was there only for that. That is why now, even today's the case of contempt was against the CMD. So Supreme Court has issued notice to him. He has to file some kind of affidavit now. So poor, I mean junior functionary, you're putting a pressure from firing from the shoulder was just not all. Same team is giving us information in 24 hours.
now
Otherwise, how do you think?
one question is you mentioned about the secret number that each and every bond has. This was also reported by Poonam Agarwal from the Quint.
That's right.
The SBI and the government also agreed that they have a secret code that tracks each bond from where
And
it's being purchased and where it goes. So now the data will come with the secret number or without a secret number. How do we verify that? The
no, it
entire process now is to find out, because some people say that the BJP has managed to achieve what they wanted. They never wanted the data to be linked and to be shared by the election commission or by the SBI. So they have somehow successfully managed to prevent that.
You see, they have managed it because that was right from beginning scheme when the Secretary, Ministry of Finance, the Department of Economic Affairs, Subhash Garg, he wrote it back to RBI governor that what you are proposing, that means the whole scheme will be failure right from the beginning, but that will leak away the name of the donor. The entire, that most, most thing is that amendment to Finance Act 2017, where you amended 4 to 5 things, RBI, income tax law, just to accommodate electoral bond by itself was nothing. You see, so suited in such a way that electoral bond donor name remained. So that itself was something like is a dangerous thing, which I think. And this is electoral bond was just out. See, to do this, you change everything. Even the RBI's power was taken away. So it's a secret number is very clear. Secret number is only fair to that when political, they know it's sold, it's recorded. Say it's sold in Chennai. It is being encashed in Delhi. It's online on the data. The person in another branch takes the money and the redemption matches whether it was sold from where. The whole purpose was that. Before accepting or giving money to the political party, the first thing is that is it genuine? You go to system. System already has when it was sold. How many things can you keep it in the? And they never talked. You see, another thing is they're not even talked about political parties. All that in the application only emphasis on the donors. All these things tell you something more. And your this thing, media house and news laundry together has already brought in over 300 some crores. And before that also there was a letter which I think resurfaced sometime from a company that we were getting harassed, and so we have decided in the meeting that we'll donate 40 crore. And this was 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago. It was also mentioned by Shri Prashant Bhuchanji in the court at that time. But that story has surfaced again. So this
So
is what I'm.
once, yes, sir, go ahead.
Then you go ahead. I
So
bless I
once
don't.
the name of the donors, the number of bonds that have been purchased, all that comes out, what could be the larger picture that one could derive at this moment after the release of these details? What can one expect?
The, it is still, is that brought out the entire scheme as a farce. It is not who the donor names are coming, which is a political party. They in any case declare 1 year later. And now complete data will come. Plus, we'll have to see today that seal cover. It was in a big crate. You are maybe watching. That's opened up today in front of everybody. There is bound to be some information in that, and that also to be uploaded. So now, what you get from the sources like banks and this data, cross check. There could be a mismatch. Which one to be trusted? Obviously, the political party which has given, and both have to be uploaded. But that is what I want to know about this, because when I was in initial of hearing, something else was stated that we will scan it and give it to scan or this thing. But final order, I think the EC has to do the same thing and within 2 3 days upload that what is in that seal covers.
Hmm.
And the only thing is, I couldn't. I was just sitting there, get dying to speak out. I was not a counsel. The first list which was there, it had a name of 105 parties. List of 105, which I acquired in 2020. And there were not so many parties even who were registered. So they spoke bad on the election commission. The communication with parties were bad. We wanted to expose that in 20 itself till the COVID struck us. And later, together, Poonam Agarwal and Nitin Sethi's system, they went to each house. They said, we don't even have money.
Hmm.
So that means what election commission also to be put on a mat on these things. And that in today they are totally opaque. My last three RTIs, information given me exactly same pass have not given me. My recent RTI which was filed is exactly copy, but I provide them more information. Okay, that day you gave me a reply, 105 list attached with. I also told them State Bank says only 25 parties are there, so that they don't mislead. It's like telling them what to do. Then I also said donors. Okay, donors may come up in that. Okay, we don't know. Legally, it's this thing. It was a part of the background built on my RTI. Queries was
Okay.
only one or two. List of sealed envelopes you received. That's all. Because you don't know what is inside. That I won't ask. So election commission has much to speak.
Right, sir. We'll wait for the data to be released by the Election Commission, and once the Election Commission data comes out, we will get more stories. Is what the expectation is. So there will be many questions that will be raised, which the ruling party will have to answer, the Election Commission will have to answer, and also the corporate companies that have been funding huge amount of money through this opaque scheme. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. And
Thank,
once the
thank
data
you.
is out, I'll also reach out to you again, and we'll continue this conversation, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. Jai Hind. I would
Thank,
say Jai Hind.
thank you, sir.